Hi! So for this video, we are going to be talking about household items or dangers that can kill your birds, so let's get right into it. Now this is something that all bird owners, especially new bird owners, should know. So most of the items that I'm going to mention actually have a large effect on your bird's respiratory systems because of how efficient the respiratory systems actually are. When birds are flying at high altitudes where there's less oxygen, they need to breathe in as much oxygen as they can in order to maintain flight. So their bodies were basically designed to intake oxygen even as they are exhaling, which is pretty amazing, but that also means that they can absorb toxins in the air at a much higher rate compared to us. So with that in mind, the first item on the list are non-stick coatings. And most non-stick items are coated with a chemical called PTFE, which you probably know as Teflon. And the most common non-stick item that you probably have in your home are non-stick pots and pans. And when your non-stick pot or pan is heated over 500 degrees Fahrenheit, that's when it's going to start emitting toxic, odorless fumes that is fatal to birds. Even if you are keeping your bird in another room, you'll never know if those fumes will get to them until it's too late. Also, if you're using scratched up non-stick pots and pans, the coating on the pan is going to be destroyed, so that just means that your pan is going to be able to emit those toxic fumes at a much lower temperature. There's also other non-stick items that you might have in your house, like waffle irons, griddles, panini presses if you're fancy, and it doesn't even have to be cookware. Other items that you might have in your house that have non-stick elements in them could be any hair dryers, irons, curling irons, straighteners, also space heaters. There's a whole bunch of other things. So that's why when you are shopping for products that need to be heated in order for you to use them, you have to make sure you are looking at the product details before you actually go ahead and purchase them. You want to make sure that they are made out of bird-safe materials, and if you are buying bird-safe cookware, it has to say PTFE and PFOA free. Now PFOA is just another chemical that is used to make non-stick items. And another kitchen related thing that you have to be careful of are self-cleaning ovens. Most ovens have a self-cleaning feature, and if you do decide to use it, your oven is going to heat over 900 degrees Fahrenheit, which is insanely hot. And the purpose of that is to basically incinerate any burnt on foods that you have in your oven, just so it's easier to clean. Now when that happens, any burnt on food that is burning in the oven is going to start releasing really small amounts of carbon monoxide. That isn't fatal to us, although I'm pretty sure it's not safe for us either, but it is going to be fatal to our birds. That's why you should try to just stay clear of the self-cleaning feature, even if your homes are well ventilated, just so your birds are safe. So it's probably best that you put in a little extra elbow grease to clean up your oven. So the next one has been a little bit hard to find in the stores because of how timely it is and how everyone needs it right now, and that is disinfectants and cleaning supplies. Obviously, there are lots of different kinds of cleaning supplies out there, but regardless if they are sprays like Lysol sprays, Clorox or Windex, or even big jugs of bleach or ammonia, or floor cleaners like Pine Sol or Fabuloso, which I think smells really good, the product from the sprays and the fumes from the cleaning solutions are going to be released into the air when you're using it. The chemicals in the products aren't safe for us to inhale, and it does say that on most of the bottles, so you could imagine how fatal it can be for our birds. If you are using these products, you never want to use it around your birds, and make sure that the space you are cleaning is well ventilated and aired out before you are actually bringing your birds back into that space. And you could even consider switching to more natural cleaning products. So I'm pretty sure you're seeing a pattern here, and that is that anything that affects the air quality is not going to be safe for your birds, like smoke from cigarettes, vapes, hookahs, or whatever else that is out there that you can smoke. I've also seen some people on Facebook groups say that they've smoked around their birds and nothing has happened, but that is besides the point. Smoking may not kill them right away, but it is going to take years off of their life expectancy, just like it does for us. And even if you aren't smoking around your birds and you're smoking outside, you should still wash your hands really thoroughly, and maybe think about changing your clothes or just hop in the shower, because there are going to be traces of nicotine and residue from the smoke that is going to linger on your body, especially your hands and your face. face and your clothes. So when you go and touch your birds without washing your hands after you have smoked, all that residue on your hands are going to be transferred onto their feathers, and then they'll end up preening themselves and ingesting all that residue and nicotine that you transferred onto their feathers, which is not good for them. Smoke from burning foods and oils will also be bad for your birds, so you should never cook with your birds in or near the kitchen, and you should never leave anything on the stove unattended. So another thing that isn't safe to use around birds are scented candles and air fresheners, because those are actually loaded with lots of chemicals that you're basically releasing into the air when you're using it. So say goodbye to your precious Yankee candles and your Febreze and Glade plugins, because those are no good. There are also candles out there that are marketed to be bird safe, but I would also stay clear of those because you're still burning something that's going to be released into the air, even if it does say that it is bird safe. So you should just stay clear of those just to be extra cautious. So birds don't normally stink, so there really is no need to freshen up the air. And if your bird does stink, then that just means you either need to offer them more baths or clean their cage more often, because their poop isn't supposed to smell bad either. It does have a smell to it, but it isn't supposed to be stinky, so that should also call for a vet visit just to make sure that your bird is healthy. We all know that birds want to be a part of the flock, so every now and then they will try to eat off of your plate, so you have to make sure that whatever you are eating isn't toxic to your birds. So some toxic foods include avocados, chocolates, salty or any sugary foods, alcohol, any caffeinated drinks like tea, coffee, or soda, also mushrooms, onions, and dried beans. So this isn't a complete list of foods that are toxic to birds, so you do need to do a little bit more research and find a list of safe and toxic foods for birds. And if your bird ever ingests any of the things that I mentioned, then you need to take them to the vet ASAP. And aside from stealing food off of your plate, birds are also naturally curious, so they will pick at things that aren't safe for them, like houseplants. There are so many different kinds of houseplants out there, so that's why you need to do a little bit more research before you actually bring a houseplant home. I do have a couple houseplants that my birds have actually bit into, but they are bird safe. So some bird safe houseplants include bamboo, also jade plants, ZZ plants, snake plants, aloe veras, and any Dracaena varieties like this one that I have. This is a corn plant, and as you can see, it is dying. This is where the magic happens. I'm just kidding, but I know every now and then you'll be hanging out with your birds and you both will get sleepy and you will think that it's okay to take a nap with them, but don't, because it's actually pretty dangerous. You could accidentally fall into a really deep sleep and end up crushing your birds, which is not good. So if you really need to sleep, then you can just put your birds away for a little bit. They'll be safe in the cage and you can just take a nap. Ceiling fans aren't safe for birds either, because they move really fast and your birds could easily fly up into them and then you won't have a bird anymore. If you do want to use your ceiling fan, then you should never use it when your birds are in the same room as you. You always want to make sure that the ceiling fan in the room is turned off completely before you bring your bird in, just so that they are okay in case they do get startled and fly up. You could also consider getting tower fans where the blade isn't exposed, so it's safe for your birds. Birds can also fly away and escape if you leave any windows or doors open, so you always want to make sure those are closed. And for your windows, you always want to make sure that you have a window screen. Our birds are still considered wild animals, but they are our house pets and we are providing everything for them to live in our homes. So if they do escape, then they aren't going to be able to fend for themselves, because it is a new environment and is probably really scary to them. You always want to make sure that you have a second door between you and your bird and the other door that leads to the outside, just to be safe. And always check your windows to make sure that the window screens are shut. And not only can they fly away through open doors, you can also accidentally slam your doors on your birds, whether they are flying through the door and you accidentally shut it, or if they are perching at the top and you accidentally shut it on their tail feathers. So you always want to make sure you are second guessing yourself before you close any doors. There are so many different things that are not safe for birds, but just remember that anything that is being sprayed into the air or anything that is being burned or is affecting air quality in any way is not safe for birds. And birds are naturally curious, so they will get themselves into trouble. That's why you always want to supervise them when they are outside of their cage. And because there are so many different things that are dangerous to birds, I obviously haven't mentioned everything in this video. There's other things like hairspray, perfumes, colognes, any spray on body products like spray on sunscreen, spray on tans, spray on deodorant,
nail polish remover, rubbing alcohol, dry paint, wet paint,
insecticides, electrical cords, rusty metal, old toys that your birds might get caught in,
saliva, other pets that you have in your house. The list of things is pretty much endless, so that's why you need to do more research. But yeah, if you do have any of these things lying around, then it might be a good idea to just chuck them if you don't think you're going to use them ever again. Wait, is that it? I thought I had more. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and also hit that notification bell. Select all notifications so you get notified every time we post a new video, and I will see you in the next one.